Recent studies show that 53% of college graduates end up in careers completely unrelated to their majors, and that might actually be the best thing that could happen to them. Today, we're exploring why the post graduation journey rarely goes according to plan and why that's perfectly okay.
You know what's fascinating about that statistic? It really challenges the traditional narrative we've been fed about career paths being linear.
Well, speaking of challenging narratives, let's look at some surprising data. Studies show that people who take a strategic pause after graduation, even just 2 to 3 weeks, are 40% more likely to report job satisfaction in their first role.
Hmm, that's really interesting about the correlation between taking time to reflect and job satisfaction. What do you think drives that connection?
So, here's what research suggests it's about making intentional choices rather than reactive ones. When graduates take that pause, they're more likely to identify their true interests versus just jumping at the first opportunity that comes along.
That reminds me of the growing trend in gap experiences. Not necessarily a full gap year, but strategic breaks for skill development and self discovery.
You know what's really eye opening? LinkedIn's latest workforce report shows that soft skills like adaptability and critical thinking are now valued 30% more highly than technical expertise in many entry level positions.
Well, that certainly shifts the conversation about what new graduates should focus on during their job search.
And speaking of job searches, let's talk about something that might surprise people: the hidden job market. Studies indicate that up to 80% of available positions are never actually posted publicly.
That's exactly why networking has become so crucial. But I think we need to reframe how we think about networking, don't we?
Absolutely right. Modern networking is more about building genuine relationships than collecting business cards. Research shows that graduates who engage in informal networking through social media and professional communities are twice as likely to land their first job through a connection.
Let's dig into the practical side of this. What are some concrete steps graduates can take to position themselves effectively?
Well, here's something interesting. Companies are increasingly using AI screening tools for resumes, and studies show that candidates who optimize their applications with industry specific keywords increase their interview chances by 60%.
Oh, and don't forget about the rise of portfolio careers. You know, where recent graduates combine multiple part time roles or gigs.
Yes, and the data supports this approach. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that millennials and Gen Z workers will hold an average of 12 to 15 jobs in their lifetime, compared to the 4 to 5 jobs their parents had.
That's such a dramatic shift in career patterns over just one generation.
And here's what's really fascinating. Research from Harvard Business Review suggests that this job hopping actually leads to higher lifetime earnings. Professionals who change jobs every 2 to 3 years earn up to 50% more over their lifetime compared to those who stay put.
Well, that certainly challenges the traditional wisdom about loyalty to one company, doesn't it?
Like, completely. And you know what else is interesting? The rise of remote work has expanded job opportunities for recent graduates by about 300% compared to pre pandemic levels.
That geographic flexibility must be game changing for new graduates.
So here's another surprising trend. Companies are increasingly valuing diverse educational backgrounds. A recent study showed that teams with varied academic backgrounds outperform homogeneous teams by 35% in innovation metrics.
That really supports the idea that your major doesn't have to define your career path.
And speaking of career paths, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked: the power of informational interviews. Graduates who conduct 5 or more informational interviews are 2.5 times more likely to land a job they actually want.
That's really compelling data about the impact of informational interviews.
You know what else is worth noting? The growing importance of digital literacy. A recent McKinsey report found that 90% of jobs will require digital skills by 2030, regardless of the field.
How should graduates approach this digital transformation?
Well, the key is focusing on adaptability rather than specific tools. Studies show that employees who demonstrate strong learning agility are promoted 25% faster than their peers.
Those are some really powerful insights for our listeners to consider as they navigate their post graduation journey.
And as we wrap up, here's one final thought. Research shows that career satisfaction isn't actually linked to landing the perfect first job. It's more strongly correlated with developing resilience and maintaining curiosity throughout your professional journey.
That's such a liberating perspective for recent graduates to keep in mind.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, it's not about following a predetermined path. It's about being open to opportunities and understanding that every experience contributes to your professional growth in ways you might not expect. If you found these insights helpful, share this episode with a friend or classmate who's job hunting too. You can read the full article on embedTalk.com and follow us for more weekly career and tech insights. This is the embedTalk podcast, helping you learn, grow, and stay ahead.